Hello and welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm John Bachman reporting from Tampa at the GOP convention. With us now is a political strategist, Rove. Thanks for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, well, it's a big week, of course. Let me ask you what's more important for Romney to accomplish this week. That we get a clear and complete projection of the GOP platform, the Romney-Ryan vision, or that we get a clear and complete projection of Mitt Romney as a man?
Both, frankly. We have a lot more information about the former, ironically, than we do the latter. The latter is frankly more important, but you have to have both. You have to leave this convention with more people saying, I know what these guys are going to do, and I know more about them.
Can he accomplish that in one speech on Thursday?
Well, you do it through the entire convention. I mean, like, for example, Tuesday night is going to be about small business. We can build this. Wednesday is going to be about change. Thursday is going to obviously be a big spotlight on him. Ironically enough, the Republicans, by losing Monday, lost the night they were going to devote to the critique of Obama. But frankly, that critique is pretty well laid in.
Moving on from the convention, what should be Romney's top priority? Appealing to the base and making sure that those voters get out to the polls, or does he need to appeal more to the swing voters and swing voters in his favor?
Yeah, look, swing voters, because you don't want the candidate to be spending the final weeks of the campaign reassuring people who ought to be firmly for him. The good news is he doesn't need to do that. We're at a place where Republicans are fired up and ready to go, in part because of Romney, and frankly in part because of 3.5 years, 3.75 years of Barack Obama. They're ready to go.
We've heard several times, you hear it all the time actually, that this is the most important election in generations. Do you think that will be reflected in voter turnout?
Yes, among people who support Romney, but overall I think we've had a secular period from 1996 through 2000, 2004, and 2008 of each election being larger than the previous one, starting with 2000 bigger than 96. I think that may, as a percentage of the what's called the VAP, the voting age population, I think we're likely to see that percentage of turnout flatline this year and maybe even decline a little bit because of the negativity of the campaign. I mean, Obama's purpose is to discourage people who are nervous about voting for him for re-election from voting at all, because he wants them to say, all right, well, you may be leaning against me, but I want to make it so unpalatable for you to vote for Mitt Romney that you just stay home.
Some folks have even said that winning back control of the Senate this election cycle may be more important than actually winning the White House. Given everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks with Todd Akin in Missouri, what has that done to the odds of the GOP taking back the Senate?
Well, if Akin remains in the race, it makes the odds of the Republicans taking the Senate more difficult. The Republicans were looking at being able to pick up 51, 52, 53 seats getting there. If he remains in the race, he'll lose. I mean, the new Mason-Dixon poll out has his favorability at 17%. Well below anybody else in Missouri politics. Half of the people who are voting for Akin want him to withdraw. A plurality of Republicans want him out of the race. Independents want him out of the race by better than 2-1. The only group in the electorate that wants him to remain in the race are Democrats. By a 10-point margin, want him to remain in the race, and I don't think they have the best interest of the conservative movement or Republicans at heart.
Do you think that division is reflected at all here this week?
I don't think so, because look, I have yet to meet anybody who says to me, yes, there's such a thing as a legitimate rape. And I have yet to meet anybody, even some of the supporters of Todd Akin admit that it's indefensible to suggest that some nutty pseudoscience that a, quote, woman's body knows how to shut it all down, end quote. Look, this was a mistake on two levels. One, it is an outrageous and deeply disappointing comment. It is nutty. But what's also bad about it is that it took him, he says it on Sunday morning in an interview that he'd earlier taped, and he doesn't apologize for it until Tuesday night and does it in a TV ad. So this is why the voters of the state who a week before he said this were giving him a 10-point lead over Claire McCaskill, 3 days afterwards were giving him a 10-point deficit to McCaskill, and it's because they were given the choice between saying, what does he really believe? The thing he spontaneously said in an interview by a conservative journalist, or the contrived thing that he says better than 60 hours later in a television ad? And obviously the answer is they believe what he said on Sunday morning, not what he believes on Tuesday night.
Let's talk about Rove. You played a big role in this election, of course, as you have in others in the past. I've read some articles that say Rove is back. There's a Rove renaissance. What do you make of those comments?
I think I'm a myth, and I think that's wasting good paper and good ink.
Would you ever consider working in the White House again?
You know, you never say never, but I was there for 7 years. The average tenure of a senior White House aide is about 18 months. When I went there, I had hair and it wasn't gray. And when I left, I didn't have much hair and it was all gray. So, you know, you never say never, but I doubt that the opportunity will ever come my way again. I was privileged to serve a great man and to do so for a number of years and to serve our country, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
One last question before you go. Aside from Romney, who's the one person you're looking forward to hearing most speak at this convention?
You know, I'm looking forward to hearing a number of them, but Paul Ryan's a pal of mine, and I really am thrilled about him speaking. Chris Christie's a pal of mine. He's going to have one pugnacious address, and then Jeb Bush, I think, is going to give what many people will be surprised by, but I think he's going to give a very powerful call for the conservatives to be the party and the movement of reform, and I'm really looking forward to that.
All right, Carl Rove, thanks for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
And thanks for watching Newsmax.